Let's move to Stamford Bridge, where another place where there's a little bit of unrest. Chelsea 1, Brighton 3. Chelsea go 1-0 up through Fernandes, and then game changing. Chalobah makes a poor challenge on Gomez, who's going through. It's definitely a foul. It's also denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. So for 2 weeks running, Chelsea down to 10 men. And then Brighton came back into the game. Danny Welbeck came on as a sub with a couple of goals, and Max de Kuiper gets a header in the 6-yard box where Chalobah might have been. So Brighton end up winning the game 3-1. I was doing this game more, keeping an eye on this around the window. There was a few boos in that at the end, Rob. The Chelsea fans weren't happy with what they're seeing.
Well, they've never been fully convinced, have they? Chelsea fans, they haven't been. You know, and I get it. Those Chelsea fans know what they're doing. They've seen successful football over a long period of time. Yeah. I think some are excited by a project, a very different, unprecedented project of young players bought from all over the world at great expense to be great players and great investments. And some people are like, why we spend all this money on young players when we had all this money?
That seems to be the new narrative, doesn't it? Now, like when we spent all this money and we're not much better than we were before we started.
Yeah. And also, like, the point being as well against Brighton, Rob, the flipping club that you give them an absolute fortune, billions of pounds or whatever, and to pick their best players, they still come on your turf and beat you, is not a good look for the manager as well. He's spiky. He's never really had a sustained run of bad results where, you know, the pressure starts to mount a little bit, and they might not now. They might bounce back. I'm in general, I've liked this project. They've got success. They won that thing in the summer, of course, the World Cup, which to some is a big deal. To some others, it's not. I think it's quite a big deal to go there and beat all those teams and to win it.
80 million in your bins ain't bad either, by the way.
Yeah, the money was good. But you know, this will be.
Yeah.
Well, I think this will be pretty organic. If they improve slowly and steadily, and the young players get better, it's going to be all good. If it stalls, Rob, for any reason, or they go on a long run of results where it's not great, then you start getting rumblings again, and then the pressure will mount on this guy. That I'm not sure how he's going to cope with the difficult questions, because he can be quite spicy, can't he? And pretty honest with his comments. So bad luck. Again, I didn't see this one closely. It's the same window as all the other games. Yeah. And it's tough to watch closely 2 or 3 games at the same time. I know you could watch it more closely. But I watched, of course, the highlights and the sending off, you know, getting caught the wrong side. It's an obvious dogzo. And Welbeck, you know, then again does the business. So bad luck I always think it's a real bad luck when a Brighton, you know, we're talking about these teams that lost out to your Brentfords and your Brightons, brilliantly run clubs. And it just shows you now this league, you know, with the money that all of them are getting, you make good recruitment, you pick good managers, they can beat anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously Cole Palmer's out with this groin injury that they're saying they don't want to operate on. They want to give him time to rest and get fit. So obviously that's going to run a period of time, talking probably after the October international break that he'll be back in the team. But I still have my reservations about Chelsea defensively. And it includes the goalkeeper and includes the back four.
Well, the goalkeeper,
I'm just not sure that's it's at the level that it needs to be when I talk of all the other big clubs. I'm talking big 6 teams and looking.
But that's going to be another changing, Rob, isn't it? Everything's always changing at Chelsea. The front line's changed again. It takes time to get used to these players. There's so many players coming in and out. You know,
that's where somebody at the club has to say, right, okay, enough.
Settle it down a little bit.
We've got a group, like, this is where we're going, this direction we're going for the next 18 months, and we're going to go down there. And if that doesn't work, then we'll change. But feels like month to month, it seems like different faces, different people, different changes.
You've got to learn it. You've got to learn the system every single time.
Nacho's, you know, still learning and being a part. Yeah, he's the next one. Just before we move on, mate, I'm going to give you my underappreciated performer of the week. And he's a gentleman who's now 34 years of age, so just a couple of years younger than us. He's started his career at Manchester United in 2008, played 92 games for the Red Devils, scored 20 goals. Danny Welbeck, my friend. In an era and a time when clubs are having to spend 70, 80, 90 million dollars for the Jokereses and the Voldemolders and the Sheskos, who look great players and you know, the Europhiles and have played in all these clubs, but actually we don't know, can they do it in the Premier League? Danny Welbeck, my friend, can do it in the Premier League and still continues to do it. Came off the bench in this game, gets a couple of goals. Had a lovely moment, don't know if you saw, he took his shirt off to celebrate. The referee came over, giving him a yellow card. The referee was a balding man. He kind of put his hand on his bald head as if to say. It was a brilliant shot and very Danny Welbeck, just, laughing at himself but trying to make light of the situation. I hear everything about him in the dressing room. He's a great pro. He sets good standards. He's obviously been around some big pros at Manchester United and at Arsenal when he was there. People are always, he gets good receptions when he goes back to places. I just think he's one of those little diamonds for a manager to have who can call on. Him and James Milner for Fabian Hürzeler, I think are absolute diamonds, mate. And, you talk about all this young talent that comes through. You have to have good people around your football club as well to make sure that young talent goes in the right direction. And Danny Welbeck's one of them. And won't be talked of with all the big strikers in the league now, but still does an important and still knows where the goal is.
He's very much a Robbie Earle favourite, and he ticks all the boxes to love him for Rob. Yeah, he's a great pro. Yeah. He's a consistent scorer. He's not a fancy Dan flash big mouth guy. He gets on with his work. He's always available. Yeah, I can't argue with that, mate. Underappreciated. Absolutely right. We have just been talking about a team that's got so many young players they could do with some experienced ones, and that's why we say this unprecedented at Chelsea, because of every young team, Man United, that class of 92 coming through, there's amazingly great pros to help them along in the team. There's probably 2 or 3 in the team at least to help these young players. And Danny Welbeck's one of those, as you've said, steady Eddie, scores his goals, does his thing, knows his art, goes on about his business really professionally. I'm never going to push back at Danny Welbeck, Rob. And he loves scoring goals, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's his man when he's scored over his career, wherever he's at.
Yeah.
He enjoys his craft. So fair play. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. And well done to Brighton. We're very quick to praise the 3 Bs, the Bournemouth, Brighton, and Brentfords, because they are quite the story. And it's what we said many times what good ownership and recruitment can do for your club. And what an example that was, Brighton beating Chelsea pretty handily.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.